We're here with an exclusive interview at the University of California Summer Arts Program with a dear friend of mine, a great pianist. And maybe pianist is short-sighted because we live in a world of heightened eclecticism, and there's nothing that this gentleman can't do on the piano. And that's my dear friend Bryan Pezzone. I've known him for 18 years. He's performed on numerous soundtracks of mine for Hollywood. His immediate ability to acclimate, to adapt into any musical style is unprecedented. And we're fortunate enough to have him here with us as the resident pianist for the Summer Arts Program, and the man who will premiere a new work of mine, the Adagio-Toccata for two piccolos and piano. Bryan, we've known each other a long time. You know my music very well, and you know that my piano parts are characters themselves. What challenges do you find, or what role does the piano play in this work?
Well, the piano parts carry so much important narrative, and they're multi-leveled. So while you may be playing a single chord, or you may be playing something exciting, it's important to realize that what you're doing, Chris, is besides writing a piano piece, you're actually orchestrating different characters. And so you have to pay close attention to things that you would normally take for granted. Closer attention to details, accents, voicings, and things that hold the underpinning together. Because Chris, you write fantastic piano parts, and just ever so much stretch the without making it unplayable. It's actually very playable, but stretch the registers and stretch, the hands leaping around so that it can actually be orchestral, in nature. And so besides it being orchestral in nature, it challenges me to get different, to use my range of touch and range of sounds. This piece begins very quietly, and so I'm hearing that as muted strings, and that's the effect that I want to get from the piano. And then in the exciting sections, I'm imagining myself as a percussionist and a driving force and other instruments. It's the way I've always played the piano. It's simply not a piano, but it's a canvas that does its best to fill in the rest of instrumentation, especially in a chamber work, of any chamber work, especially any of your chamber work.
Bryan, have you ever played a piece for two piccolos and piano before, and if so, has it presented any challenges for you?
This is the first time I've played with two piccolos, and as I learned today, the piccolos cut through more than I expect. So usually when I play with flute, sometimes I'll adjust the dynamic back, but not being in front of the piccolos and the piano, it encouraged me to play with more boldness, so that they could have more support, because they're going to be heard. A lot of times when you're accompanying a flute or another instrument, sometimes you have to underplay so that you don't overwhelm the instruments. But that's the only challenge I've come up with so far, is how to get the right dynamic balance, and actually to be assertive and unafraid to infuse it with energy that it needs. Yeah.
Bryan, how about leaving our young viewers a success tip that must be navigating through your mind right now? What can you share with us in the preparation of music?
Well, you work your hardest doing the best that you can to prepare your music, whether it's with your very first rehearsal with one of your colleagues, but you should be as prepared as you can be. And second to that, if you have the good fortune of being able to have a relationship with the composer of the music, it's a very special relationship, because the composer will suggest things to you that are in the music that you may have played in a certain way based on your knowledge of other repertoire, but there's nothing like a living, breathing creator to give you input to say, well, that may have been the way you play those eighth notes in Beethoven or some other repertoire, but I actually like this for this effect. And those are intangibles that aren't necessarily written in the music. And so anytime you have a chance to interact with and keep good relationships with your composers, because that's the way it generally was, and most times it's really a plus to do your best for, and to defer to the composer and listen to what he or she has to say about their music.
Bryan, thanks for being with us today.
My pleasure.